Okay, I'm going to give you a quick video discussion of the Aptana Studio 3. I've downloaded and installed it. It's not the easiest program to use, I know that, but it is free. It's free compared to, of course, Dreamweaver or something else like that. So if you're going to use this program, the easiest way to do it is just to try it, and I'm just going to start it. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a folder somewhere where I can save my project. In this case, I've made a folder on the desktop right here where I'm going to save my project, and then I'm going to go to the browse, and I'm going to choose my folder, and I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to hit OK again. That's just going to ask you for the, well, I already named the project, so I have one there that I made earlier called My First Website. So there is a kind of a folder in there, and so what does this program do? It kind of makes a folder with my first website in there. Okay, so it's like a folder inside of this folder. Okay, and there's some metadata in there and things like that. So it does sort of try and organize itself into this thing called a project file, and that project file is here. There's a project right here, and it kind of, as you start making web pages and stuff, they'll be, I believe, listed all right there. And so again, you have this kind of the top kind of folders up here at the very top are used to browse kind of in that folder that you've designated the program to use. How this program works is that you'll be typing your HTML over here. We'll start with a template, and I'll show you how to start that. Down here is a terminal console that are used for scripting and things. If you don't need that open right now, you can close it. There's a little, like a little line right there that you can use to close it. I'm not going to use that right now, so I'm going to close that. Again, it was like a little line right there. I closed it, and it puts it down here. You can bring it back if you ever need it, right back here. Next, let's just quickly run through the menus. Under the file menu, you have, of course, you can open a file. You can open a URL, which would be an internet address. You can start with a new file. You can start with a new PHP project, new web project, and the project then it kind of organized the program, and you're making multiple pages. So this is not like you say file, new web project to start with an HTML file. So we've already made a project because that's what we named it when we started the program. So you really don't need to do that right now. You could say new from template right here. And then this is a really powerful scripting kind of program. So they have a whole bunch of different new examples in here. Mostly we'll be using the HTML right here, new from template HTML, the HTML5. We'll get that in a minute as we go through. So there's a whole bunch of different, of course, different XML and different file formats you can make with this, and these templates are basically pre-made kind of organized code that's already been started for you. And then of course you have all the other options: import, export, properties, and things like that. Edit, copy and paste. You have navigate to go through your different pages after you start making them. You can search, run. You can run tests of scripts and things. Same with the commands. There's pre-made options inside here that'll help you insert things and stuff like that, so we'll get to that. And then of course windows and appearance. Under preferences you can change the appearance of things, but it's not that easy to adjust, so I kind of just use the default settings right now. In this case, I'm going to start with a new HTML file that we can just start practicing some of the code that is listed in the book. You can get by going under the new from template, and under HTML, if you want, you can start with the HTML5 template right here. And sometimes, for some reason, I have to click it twice. I don't know why it's making me do this. And then it finally brings up one. So again, this is how you can start with a plain blank kind of HTML file, is just by going under the file new from template, and I went under HTML, and I went under the HTML5 template. Now this template adds a lot of things, and a lot of it is already actually organized into a way to start. You'll see that it has included the doc type already for you. This is the plain HTML5 doc type that starts with just doc type HTML. That's how you start. And of course it has a HTML language in English is EN. And then it starts with a head section, and then in the head section it then will go to this is for IE, and basically this one will tell IE sort of which which version of IE to run. So it's kind of like a forcing IE to if this is an HTML5 to render it properly in HTML5. That's what this line of code is here. I'll try and link up some links that you can read that. And then, of course, you have a title tag right here, and we could change this title tag. In fact, I'm going to change it right now. The title tag is my first website test. How about that? And then, of course, you have a description tag, and a title and description tags are going to be very important to search engines. And I'll give you a whole internet marketing kind of class where we all talk about how important these are and how to add them. But of course, the description would be just a kind of a couple lines of text that explains what your website is all about. This is my first website. And so then you could just type right into this program. Author, it automatically brings in the name of your computer. So when you see Jay Raskoff here, it's actually reading, whatever your computer name is and putting it in there. Some of these you don't even need if you don't want them line. You don't want author line. You could just hit delete. Same with the viewpoint. This viewpoint one right here is for wireless devices, and so if you're not really worried about making your web page here for a wireless device, you can actually delete that if you want. Same with the favicon here. This is the favorite icon. That's the icon you see when you're looking at a web page. Let's go here, and you see the little color. See, mine has a little R right there. West Valley has a little the W. That's the favicon. We'll learn how to do that this week also. I'm going to learn how to make these, and it'll be one of your lab options here. The file. Do you want to replace the editor's content and its changes? Is there a way I can cancel this? Don't know. Oh, it's saying I haven't saved it. So you don't really need these ones right here. Same with the Apple Touch icon. These are more things that you don't really need right now. We can delete those. So a lot of this stuff that is in here is just extra from when we use the template. Now the way that this program works is it's kind of organized for both cell phone as well as web pages. So when you see those kind of contents in there, when you see the header right here, right there, and then a nav is for a navigational bar, and then some div tags for content here, and then a footer for at the bottom of the page. This is the kind of way that a web page tends to be organized in HTML5. The header would be the text that kind of goes along the top of the page. And I'm just going to type that in. This is the text at the top of the page, and we're going to learn how to format it using CSS in a little bit. And then we have some links here. The link is the standard. If you've read some of the HTML that I listed to practice, the link would be A. A is a link right here. The P is a paragraph tag, which puts it into a new line, which would be underneath this. Nav is just a way of organizing this content into kind of the nav here is for like a navigational bar here, and then the div down here would be like the main content right there. So in this case, I could put in this is the main content. Then the copyright, of course, this is the copyright symbol down here at the bottom, and then we could put on our name. So if you start off with one of these templates and you want to try some of the code that they have listed in the book there, you can simply just start with a blank page right there and start by typing. And so some of the things you might want to consider doing is some of the samples from the book, especially this week with chapter 3 has a lot more of you hand coding things, and so adding more of the code that is just listed there is an easy way to get started. If you want to test and see what it looks like in a browser, we can save this. I go under the file, save as, and it's going to ask us where do you want to save this. If you can save it in your project if you want, and it'll put it in your folder that you have already made. And then we could give it a name. The first name or first page of any website is called index, so I can go with index.html, and then I'm going to put it in my folder here, and I'm going to hit OK, and so it'll call it index.html, and it put it in my first web page. Remember the and there it is right there. So again, when you make a project, you're designating a folder on the computer to save your web page, and then as you save your files, it'll automatically put them into that. It'll help you organize it into there. If you want to test your web page, you can simply go under the Run in Firefox. There's like a little green button up here, and if you click on there, you can say test it in Firefox or Internet Explorer, either one of those. If you click on that, it'll automatically open it inside of the browser for you. And let me try and make it smaller here so we can see. And you can see this is the text at the top of my page, and then we have our 2 links that are there under the nav, and this is the main content right here. So in this case, you have a lot of ways of testing. Okay, again, it's simply the little green button up here, and if you could just run in Firefox, or you can run it in Internet Explorer if you want, and it'll pop up there too. Some other things that I want you to start trying is making links. The book talks about absolute as well as relative links. A relative link would be a link that's within your web page. Absolute link would be a link outside. Like if somebody clicked that home button there and we wanted it to go to Google, we could put into the address here where it says the ahref here, and we could put in http://www.google.com. So that when the person hits home, it'll go to Google. If you want to email this to me, we could put a contact where it says contact right here. I can give it a mail to with a MAILTO : and a name of the person's email address. And so that's a way of emailing. And then let's save that. And then let's just do some fun things to get started. Actually, let me pause this video and save this. I'm going to pause this video and I'll make another one, and we're just going to start linking things up from other web pages so that you can see how you can copy and paste from other websites into this software. Again, the easiest way to save things would be just to go under File, Save As, and it saves your HTML, and make sure you designate the project window.